All right, so it's been a while since I posted a video because, life, things are happening. So I haven't recorded much of it, but things have been going on. Anyway, I thought I'd do this video because it's an upcycle project, so pretty simple. Hopefully fun. It'll be fun for me because it's something I've been wanting and needing for a bit. So if you remember, I've had these slabs for a bit, and someone made them for side tables and stuff, and so they've got a nice lip on them, and you've got this interior section. So I've been looking for tables for my bedside tables for the master bedroom that would fit these tops, because I got the tops for nothing, and I picked the two best ones with the best color and everything, but they just I had to find something that would fit within the lip that has, so it's like 22 inches. So I go to the thrift store. I look around every time I'm in there. It's been like a year plus that I've had those things. Plus. And finally I found some the other day. So pretty decent solid wood tables. They're not particle board, all that kind of stuff. The tops are exactly 22, so I'm gonna have to trim down just the bare edges of those, disassemble them, do a color change, sand them up. They're a little abused, but 10 bucks a piece for those. So I'm into this project, 20 bucks and some stain. So I'm gonna disassemble the tables, cut down the tops on the table saw so they're nice and square, get them to fit inside there, the top. I gotta deal with that one. I've got 3 of these, but the tops, these two tops, I liked the best because they had the most color variation in them. The other one's a little bit boring, but this one has some damage in it, so we're gonna have to stick that against the wall, I think. I'm not gonna repair it, but I'm gonna make it so it's not sharp and I'll cut myself on it. And we'll go from there. So quick little upcycling project that I'm excited about because I'll have some nice side tables in the master bedroom. So follow along. Okay, there is dust everywhere. Pretty much got the first round of sanding done, which is basically stripping the finish off. I was unsure of the color I was going to use. Maybe I finished it clear, but my issue is there's a lot of variation in the wood. So, I mean, that's off of one chair, so, sorry, one table. Three legs are pretty light, one is pretty dark. Some of them are a mix of the two, like this has too dark, too light. I gotta finish getting in the grooves here because we're gonna do a color change. Then there's variation. This has a little bit of a red, but most of the other stuff is pretty light wood. I was kind of thinking it was cherry at first, but it's pretty soft. I think it's more of a cherry-ish finish. So I think I might just do a color. And I'm not being too worried about, you know, sanding the top of it because it's gonna be covered by a piece of granite. The underneath, no one's gonna see that on both the tabletop and the shelf, so I'm not worried about that. It's just what you can see on the sides and the top. So I'm gonna finish sanding that, and then I'm gonna do one more finer grit. Then I gotta figure a color. So I'll probably spend the rest of the day sanding because I got some friends coming over in a little bit. So I'm gonna sand, and then probably tomorrow we'll get the color and all that kind of stuff. So get to there. Okay, so it is the next day, a little bit later in the day. It's after lunch, late night with the boys. So the other thing too is I was trying to decide on colors. So I was kind of like hemming and hawing, looking at some different things. So kind of let me show you where we are in the project. We got everything sanded, so we did a rough sanding at 80 grit just to get the finish and stuff off. So we got both the tables disassembled and sanded, and then I went back with a 120 grit. And for me and what I'm doing, that's plenty. I don't need to go further than that. So we got everything exposed, so nice bare wood to take a stain or finish or whatever we decided. And then this is what I was trying to figure out. So there's a bunch of stains I already had. So I just I grabbed this one because I already have some dressers in the bedroom that are that color, but it's an old enough stain. It looks like it's separated. You see kind of the glops on there, and then those aren't dry. So something happened with that one, so that's kind of a throwaway one. This one is just a dark gray. It kind of covers everything. It doesn't show a lot of the wood grain through. It's not very opaque. So, and then this is just kind of a gray that I use a lot. And then there's like a weathered oak that I use. This is a piece of furniture that I have in the living room, which I really like a lot, but I feel like that color on that has it a very different feel. It's more of a formal feeling, which is more what my living room looks like. And the bedroom's a little more casual because I have a bunch of dressers in there that are that way, and you can see a lot of the wood grain. So it's kind of a mismatch of style. So I don't know that I'm going to go with that. So I think what I decided, too light, that doesn't show any wood grain, is just too dark. It's almost like that. But I think what I'm going to do is kind of go to my old standby, which is a mix. It's a 50-50 mix of classic gray and weathered oak, and you get up with this, you can see some of the texture. Sorry, you can see some of the wood grain, so that dark gray gets into the wood grain, and then the weathered look kind of weathers it out a little bit. So this might pour over coffee stands that I make, but I really like that color. So I did my mantle project in the same color. So I think it'll look good. It's still a medium color. I think it'll look good with this because there's a lot of medium color in there, not a whole lot of dark. So hence the dark furniture from the living room or just that flat gray, I don't think would look as good. My one concern though is, some of these legs were dark, some were light, and then some of them have a mix. So these are just, laminated pieces of wood and then they shape it. So I don't know how that stain is going to make that look. If it looks really horrible, I might go to that old gray stain that just kind of covers all the wood grain. Or what I might do is, looking at this, most of the wood is light. So this is one set of table legs. That's the other set over there. Those all seem to be pretty light. There's one dark one. And then these are too light, too dark. So we'll see how they finish. And if they look really odd, I can just pick and choose, put the light ones in the front so that they match, light ones in the front over there for the other bedside table, and then put the weird ones, like the two in the back that are darker, the one in the back that's darker, and kind of hide those against the wall. Because remember, that top has damaged corner and that's going against the wall too. So you're not ever going to see it For me, it'll be fine. And honestly, you're never going to notice it until you move the table or something like that. And they're kind of heavy with those granite tops on them, so I'm not going to move them unless I'm moving. And if you've ever moved, you have the nicest furniture in the world, but once you throw everything in the back of a pickup truck or something, it all looks like you're going to the dump. So that's kind of the plan. So I'm going to mix up my mix for the stain and then get staining all this. I'll probably put the screws back in the legs there and set up a thing so that I can hang them. You know, it's what garage door tracking is good for. I hang a lot of stuff there to dry. Get some buckets, put these up on some buckets so I can get all the edges and everything for the tops and the shelves. But we'll put that on time lapse and I'll stain everything, let it dry, and hopefully put a finish on it tonight, and that way I can just assemble it and be done tomorrow. So that's the plan. Okay, knocked that out pretty quick. Super hot in the garage, so I had the fan going, the radio playing, all that kind of stuff, but turned it off so I can talk to you. So we're done staining. We're gonna see how it turns out. So I did notice some variation in the wood. Still came through the stain and everything. It didn't quite cover the variation as much, but also the darkness that I like when I mix those two colors also didn't come out, but it's a different species of wood than I normally use. I work with oak a lot, and it really, that fat, thick grain, it really sucks in that darker color. Didn't so much in this, so it's a little more of an even antiqued gray. You can see in this, it really made the red on that tray come out, but not so much the edges. Those are super light color, and those were darker. So you can really see, you know, difference in the shelf and then the body of the wood. So it's a basic gray. You didn't suck in too much of the dark in the grain. I know the legs over there are drying. And you can see some of them are darker than others. So we're just gonna wait and see how it dries. Look at it tonight, and then it also changed a little bit when you put a finish on it too, so we'll kind of see how it is. If all else fails and I don't like it when it's done, we can just do that darker gray because it's more of a cover-up kind of gray. So we can do that. But I do like to see wood grain because the dressers that are in the bedroom are also show wood grain with the stain they have. So it's a little more casual in that room. So that would be kind of nice to keep that going rather than more of that traditional color they have going in the living room. So we're gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna put a clear coat on it hopefully tonight, and then assemble it and get it all done tomorrow. All right, it's been a day or two, so let me give you an update on where we are in the project. I actually got a second coat of stain on those. The first one, you could really tell a variation in some of the wood. Like I talked about some of the wood being darker and lighter. Put a second coat of stain on there. It graded up a little bit and got a little bit better, but you can definitely still see some differences, as well as the shelf really stayed kind of that reddish color, but the gray kind of helped it a little bit. So I think better. And then I put a clear coat on it. So I think as far as the wood goes, we're in good shape. I'm gonna put it all together and see how it looks. And I think I will, you know, pick some of the same color legs to put on the front, the other ones in the back kind of thing, and kind of hide a lot of things, because the bedroom is not super bright, so a little bit dim, some lamps and stuff like that. So I'm sleeping in there usually, so I'm not doing a lot of stuff. So I think the wood stuff's done. We'll throw some super fine sandpaper on it or some steel wool, just kind of knock down and make it all smooth. And then we need to take care of that damage there, so it's not so jagged where I might cut myself. So we'll just smooth that out and kind of blend it, and then we'll probably just run some polish on the top of the countertops to make them smooth, and then put it all together. So let's do that before it gets ungodly hot in here. So if you noticed in the time lapse stuff, I didn't leave the stain on very long because it's like 90 degrees in here when in the middle of the day. So not great temperatures for stain. So it kind of went on and came right off. Hence, instead of leaving it for a while, I did 2 layers. So, but let's get to that point and then reassembly. So I figured I'd pause there real quick, kind of show you how everything turned out. So I got one assembled, got the top on. I'm pretty happy with that. So obviously you see the shade and shadows there. It's even going to be shadier in the bedroom and everything, just because there's not a lot of light in there. Because, you know, I sleep in there. But I just love the slab. There's so much color in there. There's little chunks of mica and everything, a little bit of fleck, a little bit of shine. But it's just a cool piece of granite that I needed to use them for something. And I'm so happy that I found some side tables that would work. So we changed out the color. I did keep the colors that were a little bit closer in the front. So this is going to be the front. So pretty clean. And then the 1 or 2 oddball darker colored legs will be in the back. You won't see it. And then you saw me, I just smoothed that up. I didn't cut it to make it clean and stuff. I just didn't want to cut myself on it, putting it on and off and that kind of stuff. So that's just not sharp anymore. It still looks horrible, but we're going to put that against the wall. So I think that'll do it for the project. I might throw some pictures in at the end, kind of so you're going to see how they look and stuff, but I'm not going to walk around my bedroom stuff because I don't know you that well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that project. Like, share, subscribe, smash all the buttons and stuff, and appreciate you watching, and see you on the next one.